Welcome to New World of Entertainment in Zambia. Cartoons, music, news, movies, drama, series, documentaries, food, travel, the best from Hollywood and Bollywood. International football, including CAF competitions, La Liga, Serie A, German Bundesliga, Saudi League, Carabao Cup, Asian Championship, Barclays Women's League, local leagues, and much more. Grab your Azam TV decoder at 350 Zambian kwacha and full kit at 589 Zambian kwacha. Affordable monthly packages: 100 Zambian kwacha, 200 Zambian kwacha, and 300 Zambian kwacha. For more details, contact us on 971-246-222. 763-664-455. WhatsApp 77-500-0013. Azam TV, entertainment for everybody.
Not long ago, many children in Zambia did not go to school because their parents could not afford it. Today, 2.5 million children are back in the classroom, sitting on desks and being fed nutritious meals under the school feeding program. Markets are now peaceful with no cadre violence. Clinics stand where there were none. There's still much work ahead, jobs to create, futures to secure. And that's why Bali keeps working day after day. Because just as we delivered free education, we will keep delivering. For every child still waiting and every family still rising. Until progress is something every Zambian feels. We've started the change. Now let's finish the job. On the 13th of August 2026, vote for Hakainde Hichilema as President of the Republic of Zambia. And let us continue to move Zambia forward together.
It's a beautiful good morning and welcome to the Sunrise Breakfast Show right here on PTV2. And we're so delighted that you found time to watch us this morning. Thanks for being with us. I wonder what you're up to early this morning. My name is Catherine Wallier, to be with you, with my colleagues for the next 2 hours. Right now, I have with me Kizito. Kizito, welcome.
Hey, Kathy, good morning.
Good morning.
And how are you today?
I am so well today.
Oh,
you know,
awesome.
I feel so bright. I think it's because of something. Can you guess what it is?
I think that it's Friday.
Friday always just really tends to bring out the best.
I can see. And on point, you look awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I can see the details, the earrings,
Yeah.
you know, the piece on the air.
But you're always fresh, you know, with the cap. And today you're all geared up in the Prime Television shirt, official, what do you call it? The
Corporate colors.
corporate colors.
Excellent. And hoping that the people watching us also are geared for the day, for Friday. Of course, Friday responsibly. You know, I like the song which says I'm a responsible father. You know, of course, responsible mothers.
Yeah.
You know, let's ensure that the bills are paid at home before we go for parties, before we go for kitchen parties, before we go for matebetos, before we go and throw all the money, we ensure that the bills at home are paid.
We're so delighted that you found the time to join us today. We have great stories lined up for you. We have the weather coming up. We have sports coming up at the end of the show. And today we have a special guest that we're bringing back. Would you like to say something about that, Kizito?
Yes, of course. Today we have a jam-packed session, and you know, first and foremost, the most important guests are you, the listeners and the viewers that constantly follow our page. And so we look forward to hosting a number of people today in our show, and we'll be very glad to have you text, send messages, but we, not to preempt, we do have the Kimanis who were here, I think on Wednesday from Kenya, and Mama Kimani did mention how she saw certain physically, how she was taken at a tender age, and people asking how possible isn't certain a spirit, can you see certain? And later in the program, we have other people that we will speak to governance issues. And of course, we just recently saw that UPND launched a manifesto. So those are some of the conversations that we will make our program today. But I mean, without our viewers, all those programs mean nothing unless our people participate and they are part of the conversations, Kathy.
Yeah. So we have also health benefits of garlic that will be discussed by Rhoda. That's a tip that on health. And we will also have the exchange rates. So we have a lot that is coming up. And just now, let's take a break and we will be right back.
Welcome to New World of Entertainment in Zambia. Cartoons, music, news, movies, drama, series, documentaries, food, travel, the best from Hollywood and Bollywood, international football, including CAF competitions, La Liga, Serie A, German Bundesliga, Saudi League, Carabao Cup, Asian Championship, Barclays Women's League, local leagues, and much more. Grab your Azam TV decoder at 350 Zambian kwacha and full kit at 589 Zambian kwacha. Affordable monthly packages: 100 Zambian kwacha, 200 Zambian kwacha, and 300 Zambian kwacha. For more details, contact us on 971 246 222. 763-664-455. What's up? 77-500-0013. Azam TV. Entertainment for everybody.
Zambia heads to the 2026 general election, a defining moment for the nation's democracy. Who will win the presidential poll and what choice will shape Zambia's future? Follow the latest campaign updates, election stories, and breaking development. Tune in to PTV2 Zambia, the home of breaking news 24/7.
Breakfast show, and indeed Fridays always carry a special feeling, for many today, to reflect on the week, celebrate achievements, learn from challenges, and prepare for the weekend ahead. Here on the Sunrise Breakfast Show, we do exactly that by bringing you the stories, conversations, and perspectives that have shaped the nation throughout the week. And Rhoda, mornings are also special because,
Absolutely.
you're so much in a hurry, like trying to do everything all at once. And if you have a job that gets you out of the house so early and you burn a shed, what do you do?
I mean, you
The
have
only
you have
shift
to
that you
have,
had put aside,
you always have to have like two options. I
Okay.
always like have two options.
Yeah.
It's either pants or maybe a skirt or a dress. So I'll actually choose the best one. So if the worst happens, then at least I have backup.
Really?
You can't always have.
And how is that feeling? Like, how do you feel? There's that feeling when you had prepared something and then you burn it.
I know, right? It
And then
actually
it's-
breaks your mood.
Yeah, it
because
does.
there's this outfit that looks good, but then you have to change to another option because the worst happened. But then that's
That's
just
life.
life.
Yeah, true.
That's why you don't need to be in a hurry. It's always very important that you wake up earlier than usual
True.
and prepare in advance so that you know what works out and what does not. But obviously, one thing that I know is that I'm always up to date with my health.
Yeah.
I've discovered this thing of buying like, herbs or maybe just powders in terms of ginger, garlic. We don't always have to opt for the fresh options, but if they are available, then definitely. But then I love my powders because early in the morning I can just make, I can just warm water and then add in my powders because I know it always has like the same health benefits and it has helped me a lot in terms of my digestion.
Really?
Try it out.
Okay.
I'll recommend
Yeah?
some powders for you, especially in this cold season.
Definitely.
I heard the word pants, and I was like, pants? Giving context to pants
Pants,
in America.
these are
And,
pants.
no, I understand, Rhoda. Please,
Give the man a chance.
okay, I lose,
Yeah.
I recall a while ago, my daughter said something, and it has helped me through it. She said men will speak about 25,000 words per day. Women on average 75,000 per day. So-
25 to 75?
Exactly. That's an average. But the Rhodas, the Kathis from Kasama, about 120 per
No,
day.
I'm sure I speak 10, about 10.
All right,
Yeah.
so we have some amazing health benefits that we're going to be looking at today, and this is garlic. I know that garlic has seasons also because sometimes it's expensive and inaccessible at our local markets. But obviously, when it comes to our health, even if something is expensive, we need to break the bank so we don't have to go to the hospital here and there. But of course, I want to ask a question to say, did you know that garlic is actually good for you? So as most of you know that garlic belongs to the same family as chives and leeks and onions as well. So it contains a natural compound that is called allicin, which is known for its antimicrobial and antioxidant properties. So allicin is released when garlic is chopped. You know that when garlic is chopped and crushed, you're definitely benefiting from this amazing thing. So it's also giving it a strong boosting properties. Garlic is also full of vitamins and minerals like vitamin C, vitamin B6, manganese, and selenium, which will definitely help your body stay strong and healthy. So now, the first thing that you need to know when you're taking garlic is that it promotes your heart health. So studies indicate that garlic can support a healthy heart by, of course, lowering blood pressure and reducing bad cholesterol, which is famously known as LDL, while increasing good cholesterol, which is HDL, and it also helps to relax the blood vessels and keep your blood flowing smoothly, which can definitely lower the risk of heart disease and stroke. Additionally, garlic has been shown to aid in blood sugar regulation, which is also essential for maintaining overall heart health. Another thing that we'll talk about is boosting your immune system. Now, garlic's natural antimicrobial and antiviral properties help your body to fight off colds, the flu, and other infections. Studies do show that eating garlic regularly can reduce how often you get sick and make your symptoms less severe. And this is why it's advisable, especially in the cold season, that you take a mix of garlic, ginger, and lemon and make yourself some sort of medicine that will protect you from getting the cold or the flu. Now, it also protects your cells. In this regard, garlic contains antioxidants which protect your cells from damage caused by free radicals. This can definitely help to lower the risk of conditions like Alzheimer's disease, and antioxidants also can help reduce inflammation in your body. It also supports digestive gut health. Now, I did earlier on mention to Kathy that I've noticed that my digestive system has definitely improved because of some of these, powders that I've opted to take early in the morning. And garlic acts as a prebiotic. Now, in regards to this, we know that a lot of women do buy supplements. And, if you do not want to buy supplements or you do not have enough money to buy those prebiotic supplements, you can definitely opt for garlic, which is in most cases like a 10 kwacha. So now it also promotes the growth of good bacteria in your gut. A healthy gut is very important, as most of us know, for digestion, your immune system, and even your mental health. So incorporating garlic into your diet can improve your overall gut health. And, those are some of the important health benefits that we can talk about. And the other question that one might want to ask is, how much garlic should you eat? So now, to maximize garlic's health benefits, experts do recommend that you should consume at least 1 to 2 raw garlic cloves per day. Cooking garlic can also reduce some of its healthy compounds. So, I've seen a lot of people fry garlic and then, add their meat or whatever they are cooking. This reduces the health benefits that you can get from garlic. But letting it rest at least for 10 minutes after crushing or chopping helps to keep the nutrients. And garlic supplements are another option if you don't like its strong taste. I haven't seen garlic supplements yet, but I'm yet to find out. And garlic is also a great thing for your health, but eating too much of it will give you an upset stomach. And I've seen a lot of people that smoke eat garlic and, disturbing everybody's peace. But you shouldn't be overeating garlic, because garlic has a strong scent or a strong smell that would definitely, disturb people around you. So those are some of the health benefits of garlic that we can look at this morning.
Rather interesting, because I know that now a lot of people are turning to herbs, as opposed to using maybe conventional medicines even. And when you talk about garlic, I think the last point is the one that really gets me, the smell. Because you want to take 2 of them. So maybe you want to take 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. But how do you manage the smell? And you have to be around people. I have to be around you guys this morning. So what do I do to lessen
I think
that?
it's best if you don't take it in the morning. It's best if you go home. You knock off, you take, it's 1 to 2 per day. So you can opt to take one as you go to sleep. Because obviously when you wake up in the morning, the smell is already gone.
Okay, that's good. So
eating garlic around people, some people find it very pleasant, but
like the people around you?
some people would find it pleasant. Like I know people that love the smell of garlic, but I can't stand it.
Yeah, I don't think I mind it, but I'm always feeling for the people that are around me. Like what are they thinking, or how are they feeling with that smell? But Kizito,
Yeah, wow. I'm just wondering what is the best time to take it. Perhaps when you're going to sleep, but of course, a victim will be Madame, and But that said, I think that maybe Rhoda could advise. Maybe we could cut it. I don't know whether we cut it and eat it with something, and I think this is why some people would prefer to put it in honey, so that you just drink off the liquid, it stays there. and then later on,
It's actually the best. It's the best way to eat it. You crush it, then you add a little bit of honey. You make a paste, then you eat it. It's better like that, and it also helps with when you have like a sore throat or you have a flu, struggling with a cold. It definitely helps.
Okay. I just didn't know that the statement you said that a lot of women take supplements. I'm just wondering,
Yeah.
why didn't they tell us?
I think we've recently discovered. If you've seen, a lot of women have recently discovered that as you grow older, you need certain, supplements or nutrients in your
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
And people are very lazy to, there's nutrients maybe. There's vitamins in an orange, there's vitamins in an apple or something. People are very lazy to eat certain foods, like to
Yeah.
incorporate them. What do you call that healthy meal? The greens,
The balanced diet.
the
maybe.
is it do they call it
Rainbow?
the rainbow?
Yeah.
Yeah, the rainbow on your meal. So I've seen a lot of people take supplements as opposed to just eating the natural food.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I feel lazy. I'm one of those. Like, I have to force myself to carry a fruit with me around. Sometimes you find that I carry a fruit, it will be in my food bag
Yeah.
for a week. And I'm just like, I take I take the orange out, I look at it, and then I put it back. And on Friday, it's soft and I don't even want to eat it. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Anyway, so we move on, and some people in the morning, they check their phones, some check their bank balances, but white people check their weather before they leave the house. So let's take a look at what's in the weather today. And now whether you are an investor, entrepreneur, farmer, trader, or simply managing your household budget, these are the figures that matter. Let's take a look at today's money markets. Welcome back. You are on the Sunrise Breakfast Show, and you've joined me, Kathy and Rhoda and Kizito. Guys, what else do we have to talk about today?
Yeah, so Kathy Rhoda, I think that should be just one name, Kathy Rhoda. We are talking about.
And why? Why is that?
Yeah, because it's easy. You see, a man doesn't want to complicate life. So, Kathy Rhoda, I'm done.
See you.
Yeah, I'm done. And if I'm caught, Kathy Rhoda, I said, look, who's Kathy Rhoda? And then they'll come to Prime TV and look for Kathy Rhoda. They will not
No.
find it. So I'm free, and but hey, that's what you see obtaining on the market. And the question is that what do those numbers mean for someone in Shangombo? Do those mean really indicate that people are doing well? How are people adapting to businesses? People who are doing, a salon, for instance, at household level. Are you able to manage bread and butter today? Does this translate into progress, into development? Are you able to build a one room or indeed even rent? These are some of the conversations that we are able to unpack on this show.
Absolutely. And do not forget that you're catching us live. That is on TopStar channel 110. Also, we are on Facebook. That is PTV2 Zambia. You can leave your comments and your contributions in the comment section. And also just interact with us. Tell us what's happening in your communities. What did you wake up to? Is there a water problem, a drainage system problem? Is everything okay? You know, are you enjoying this weather, and is the economy going well in your communities? Let us know what
house.
exactly is happening. But also let's turn our attention to the stories shaping the nation today. We begin on a sad note, whereas a 33-year-old man of Serenge district identified as Darius Miselo has died after allegedly being beaten by unknown individuals. Central Province Police Commanding Officer Lemekan Chirwa says the deceased was reportedly attacked on the 29th of May 2026 and later succumbed to his injuries on the 10th of June. Mr. Chirwa states that the matter has since been reported to the police, who have launched investigations into the incident. He adds that no arrests have been made so far, and efforts to identify and apprehend the suspects are ongoing. Our reporter, Joseph Siambihi, has more details.
They have gathered to mourn the death of 33-year-old Darius Miselo of Serenge district in Central Province on 10th of June 2026 at 11:30 hours. Serenge Police Station received a report from 29-year-old Crossbelina Mpeta, wife to Darius Miselo, of Serenge's Kambobe compound, to the effect that on the 29th of May 2026 at around 18 hours, her husband was beaten and assaulted by known persons, and that the said person had died. The death occurred on the 10th of June 2026 at 16:40 hours at Serenge District Hospital. Brief facts are that on the 29th of May 2026 at 18 hours, the reporter was home when their brother-in-law visited them and asked the now-deceased Darius Miselo to escort him to a drinking place. Whilst the reporter remained home alone, 3 known men approached her and asked for the whereabouts of the now-deceased. She then told them where he had gone and they left. At around 19 hours, the now-deceased went back home and complained to the wife of painful ribcage, but did not disclose what had happened where he had gone. Later in the night, the now-deceased explained to his wife that he was beaten by the people who had gone to look for him at his home and that they accused him of being a scammer. On the 8th of June 2026, at around 01 hours, the victim was rushed to Serenge District Hospital. On the 10th of June 2026, at around 11 hours, police officers went to Serenge District Hospital for visitation and found the reporter nursing the now-deceased. Upon inquiring about the problem with the now-deceased, she narrated the situation and was advised to make a report of assault occasioning actual bodily harm at the police station. At 11:30 hours, a report was received. Later, around 16:40 hours, she came to report the death of her husband. The body has since been deposited to Serenge District Hospital mortuary, awaiting post-mortem examination and burial. A docket of murder has been opened. However, 3 persons have since been picked in connection with the same. Joseph Siambihi reporting, Prime TV News, Serenge.
Marcus Sakobita reports that more stories in the news. Marcus Sakobita reports that tension is mounting in Mongo district of Western Province as dozens of families living near the airport premises are appealing to the government for the urgent payment of compensation following plans for the construction of a new airport. The affected residents were recently directed to vacate their homes to pave the way for the infrastructure project. However, several months later, only about 20% of those affected have reportedly received compensation, leaving the majority still awaiting payment. The residents say the delay has left them in a state of uncertainty as they are unable to develop their properties, make long-term investments, or plan for relocation while facing the possibilities of displacement at any time. More in the following report.
In 2024, the government began the expansion of Mongo Airport in Western Province through the Zambia Airports Corporation Limited. The expansion included upgrading of the runway, terminal and fencing, which required clearing of land. Over 800 households residing around the airport were instructed to vacate the area, with the government promising to compensate the affected families. However, only around 20% of the families have received compensation, leaving the majority still waiting. The affected families are now urging the government to speed up the payment process, as the delay is taking a toll on their welfare and leaving them with nowhere to go.
September nikasonali 9 months ngelo pumiwa pa kunesesa la kuona tanda de kamu somu tae akunesesa la wo mange wafiwa lunalo fiwi mapolitiki baekeza samenti ngekeze ha uzini mu mashasha akeze ha aba utilevela kuti bami fama shele ni mashasha dili kama nikabazekeleze kuti teko
faze lubilaiza kizakuli baba mubalikani walo nabase batuta luna luinzo onafa luna baba mu mando apapa ukira luinzo onafa lwapa nebe kweza renovate kapa nebe kweza fiasi sasa kweza falapa neluitimela nganebe tu milotu kama nulutuhezi hakuna za kweza kono kuliona fa aluko wani aluko nukweza renovate aluko nape kuyaha
baru brezi kuri usikirwa ikeza kubereka baru fase simu bamuso kono kuzwa September kutofita kasheku chwana fena mborela akuna zeza hala mwendi kubabamu haili kuna bali kutseza fela mamulaho ne pilani banana baba inyani nduyeni loba isinye hile kali bakalabona ni pale ni kuirukisa.
Some community members are expressing their concerns, stating that they are unable to make any developments on their land or take any actions due to the fear of being displaced.
Kachekula amuluhanisize kuyaha mandu aluna apwacha ukireka kulibelala mina kuli mkarufa mali kuchinchana ni mubu wa mina mwingire mali ale mufira azwile kwa teni mufire babamu from that time ya mufire babamu kutofita kachekule luizona chwalo lulalu liberezi mkarufa lili sandi kupafela kikuli bashemi baka aluka fitala 30 Juni haibanja muna kurufa masheni lukakala kuyaha ape kupita kulibani ubulaya ni bana baka bani ntiyala
kupamuso kuluteli meleka ubebe mwataba mokuli kambe kinte kona before in season baise sort out each and everyone including ninu na bana nilipira kuli unaba mwala luna mokusana bana nilipira za kweza kuli my evaluators abataha batune basiyo fama plot yabona baise evaluate malandi yabo mantu ma properties yabona banyinge basiyo
kakuli ne balubulezi kuli bakalufa mashelengi kaufera aluna kono ntwe lukomokisa kikuli abasamba bafa mwa April nikachekule aluzibiseseza alukayilu lubulele kwa teni bali mutahe kamuso.
I attempted to reach out to Western Province Permanent Secretary Smoma Kapela for a comment, but he was reportedly out of the office during press time. For Prime TV News in Mongo District, Marcus Bransakvita reporting.
All right, welcome back. Those are some of the stories making headlines. We will continue updating you on some of the other stories that you might have missed out on, especially during the week in regards to our news. Now, of course, speaking about stories making headlines, let's get to see what's happening in our papers this morning. We've got some very interesting headlines, and obviously we will analyze some of these headlines in the newspapers. We start with the Daily Nation. And, of course, the Daily Nation says it's been a traumatic first term, HH. But he says he has managed to navigate the most difficult economic storms in 4 years and 10 months, having taken over a country that was burdened by debt, economic difficulties, compounded by drought, cholera, and mismanagement.
Yeah, a screaming headline, but I think that when we take postmortem, we must face, the elephant in the room. And it's just good to know that the president realizes that ruling a country is difficult and that it was not easy. One thing that I find maybe a bone to chew with politicians is that they so want to be, in State House, and it's rosy until one is there, and then they begin to say, this and that and that. If it wasn't very nice, no one would be in opposition for 30 years, 40 years, wanting to have that seat. But coming to terms with the fact that things have not been very easy, and we all understand that indeed there was a lot that happened in the past regime. The resources were not well managed, and I think that the international community kept on saying that Zambia is mismanaging a lot of resources, and we were highly indebted. And so we agree it's been a difficult patch. And just to come to people and say, guys, it's not been easy, it's good. It is being human.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just say, guys, in an affiliate, it's even just sometimes telling people that, look, this is not happening, or we are fatigued, we are stressed. So I think that I salute that statesmanship from the president to agree that it's been difficult. Of course, they have scored in certain key areas, like education, like I rightly say, that one is a big score. When a country has high literacy levels, we are going somewhere. But a lot still should be done.
Yeah.
I don't know what is Kathy's take.
Yeah. Well, before Kathy comes in, maybe, I do like the fact that, Kizito, you said he's human at the end of the day, and he acknowledges that, it's been difficulties here and there, but obviously they've managed to navigate. It wouldn't be nice to see that probably, a leader is sugarcoating things and saying we've done this and that, we've made it, people do not just appreciate. But obviously, he has acknowledged the fact that there were difficulties here, and they're taking over a government, like you said, isn't easy. But for him to come out and just say, it's been, somehow a difficult first term, but we've managed, to do it, and things are changing bit by bit, and that's what we love to see. Change doesn't come drastically. Change takes a bit of time, and people really need to accept to see that in as much as we are complaining about certain things, there are, certain things that have been put in order, and we need to appreciate him, for the things that he's managed to bring to the Zambian people.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's a big lesson to leaders to say that leadership is not an easy road, because a lot of people want to be leaders, but they don't understand that it involves a lot of things. And I can only imagine when we're talking about the leadership of a country, if they promote you to boss, you have to manage maybe 7-10 people, and that can be hectic.
That's right.
But if you have your hand on national resources, you have people in Mongu, you have people in Central Province. They are all looking at what you have to give them and the policies you have to put up in order for things to work out. So I think it's a big lesson, and like you both said, that it's good to see that he has, actually the president has acknowledged that it hasn't been an easy road, and indeed we did not expect it to be an easy road, because we all knew what had happened before they came to power. But also, we are saying that because he said that, can other leaders take a leaf to say, you need to prepare? When you write a manifesto, it's not things you just jot down. You must see, how are we going to actually effect these things? I had a guest the other day on a show who told me that I have read a manifesto for some party, and there are typo errors. I mean, it means that they're not even paying attention to what they are writing. So I feel like everyone who wants to be our leader in this country must know that they're going to be accountable to us. We're going to say, what about that thing you promised? What about this thing you said you're going to change? And so be prepared to say, I am going to manage this in this way and that way, so that at the end of it, you will have something to show, and at least the road will be easy, because you would have planned how you're going to achieve what you want to achieve.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to the Mast newspaper. Obviously, the headline says, Progressive Manifesto, UPND Manifesto wins praise from stakeholders. There's also another headline that says, Free Xavier Mwansa Kombe edges Hichilema. So yeah, the UPND's manifesto wins praise from stakeholders. Did you guys, at least have time to watch the event?
Yeah, but it also depends on the stakeholders and what they've said. Yeah, it's a sweeping statement to say stakeholders, because stakeholders are different, and there are many. When a manifesto is being given, especially that UPND is in government, in the Kaunda time we would say the party and its government. Now today we say the government and its party, but both are the same. And so when you look at a party giving a manifesto, it's an important moment, because it shapes the national policy anyway, because the political party will have the thrust, and when they are giving a manifesto like this, they are trying to show us that this is a vision for that we have for the country, of course, riding on the various frameworks and strategic plans that the country has. I am just a bit concerned. We should know who these stakeholders are. For me, from the onset, my challenge for Zambia, for Africa, has been that our documents are too big. Because when you talk about a manifesto of 52 pages, I am wondering how many people in UPND, if we brought them here, would even remember what is on page 2, page 3, page 4, and much more the last pages. You know, God had 10 commandments, he had to reduce them to 2 because he realized, look, you know, it didn't work. So somehow we must find a way to break down our narrative. Yes, indeed, it's progressive. You know, Kathy Roda, you may wish to know that the Constitution of the United Kingdom is on 1 or 2 pages. The entire Constitution of a kingdom. The American Constitution is in less than 20 pages. You know, so it is easy indeed to look at things and understand what the country speaks into. You can go now into acts and break things so that you now are dealing with people specific issues. If it's mining, people in mining will understand. Those of us who are laymen in a particular field should just understand, okay, the surface to say, look, we need 10 votes to be president. So it is easy. So while I do appreciate that the UPND, has given us a manifesto, and kudos, it should have been easy to interpret so that we begin to chew it. But for the sake of the Zambian people who are here, you know, us, because at TV2 we believe in analyzing things, we are going to find ourselves time to read the documents, and we'll find people to unpack so that we ask intelligent questions. We say, is this what the Zambian want? Because you see, of course I understand that the manifesto is a vision so that Zambians can buy in and give them a mandate. So the timing is important, but UPND must make sure they unpack what they have said in the 52 in 2 words, so that you and me can understand. If, like Sata, I think that is one of the greatest politicians. He just said more money in your pockets. He didn't even tell us how, where. It was such an easy message to get. The Kaponyas got it. Ifana Fabakabova, we got it. The high class got it. You know, Rhoda, you looked at me. Kamina also got it. So in that dimension, you know, when you make a manifesto, it must appeal to all classes.
You know, like just a statement, but I think they vote for change. Do you hear that?
Wow, that's huge. It just says that perhaps we don't analyze and look at issues, and if words mean anything, I'll go back to the elections of Rupia Banda when he lost against Michael Sata. I remember very well. The exchange rates was top notch. People were buying cars in Zambia like crazy. The first in the history of Zambia. The price of milimi was good. The economy was sound. You know, people were happy. I think Rupia Banda was not a kind of a guy that, you know, he would say Kanitundil and so on and so forth. Quite a cool guy. But when you know the outcome came, we saw that Rupia Banda lost, and of course he cried because he knew that he was doing his best. You know, you only cry when you are the best. You know, those of us who came Lambalasi cried. We didn't even cry. We knew that I'll be last. So indeed, Zambians, it's high time that that's why education is important, because when people are educated, when people are, as a country, I'm not talking about a few professors. You know, all of us at some point must have some basic education. This is why they have said anyone standing even going in parliament must have a grade 12. Previously, we had councillors with grade 2 who left school and went to, you know, to represent you and me. And then you have drawings. The guy who did the drawing is an engineer who has taken 14, 30 years in training and practice. And then his drawing is being criticized by someone from grade 2. And said, this drawing, no. You know, so we are basically saying, you know what? The people we choose represent us as a people. So if we find that the people we have chosen are low level, it just shows that we are low level. So I think that we must have interest in civics so that we can begin to understand what are we doing. And so far, I like the fact that Zambians love to consume content. Tomorrow, if you hear the word lacuna, all the Zambians will know and they'll become experts. You know, but I think that we are gradually building. But this will pay in terms of free education. By the time 10, 20 years, Zambians will be able to talk freely at a level where we can choose not on color, party lines, but on buying into policy. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so maybe before we move on to the next headline, there's a pretty interesting, a picture here where the UPND has outlined their goals and calling them HH7. Summary of the manifesto or the achievements which the UPND has attained in the last 4 years. Now, for Zambia, creating over 2 million new jobs. The first one is 10,000 megawatts of power generation. The second one is 10 million tons of maize production, 5 million tourist arrivals, 3 million tons of copper production, 3 million tons of soya production, 1 million tons of wheat production, and 1 billion USD of beef exports.
I that's why I think when you say we are about or will digest that or digress it so that we can understand, because when those figures are presented, I want to know in the 5 years how have we done? What are the percentages, the numbers compared to the numbers you're saying? Yeah. So if you tell me, mention $1 billion, what? Like you talked about, is it mining or something? So when you tell me $13 billion or whatever $1 billion, in the last 5 years, how many $1 billion did you do? Then for me, I will know what you're telling me is feasible. What you're telling me is not okay. And that's how analysis is important, because it's not just about screaming the numbers. For now, we want to say, like somebody said, or they said that it's not about what you're going to do, like what you plan to do, but how are you going to do that? Exactly. How are you going to bring in the money? If you're talking about 13 million and you've only done 2, I really want to know what path. And I think that's important. So this time, as much as we want to know what they have planned, we want to know how they are going to achieve, especially even the megawatts of power. We've had, deficits in sufficient supply. How are they going to give us that?
Yeah. Perhaps, Kathy, those are important questions to ask. Sometimes you see numbers and economics have a way of creating a gap in a conversation. Because sometimes to interpret them, like you rightly said, you require to compare what you're doing at this scale, what you're doing elsewhere. Now, there's a word they say social economics, because the social is also on the economics, and the numbers must agree. As Rhoda was reading, I almost said, Rhoda, read again, because I seem to think that we are speaking to very high level numbers, but these numbers are not reflecting what is happening in the copper belt, where we've seen a lot of small scale miners cry, where we've seen people saying, look, we are not attended to. We are missing in the narrative. We've seen even institutions come in to say, okay, let's stop small scale mining, and these people have been saying we are not benefiting. We go this area. We've seen that indeed in the recent past, load shedding was abnormal, the worst ever in the history of the country. So while we want to emphasize the scores, you see, maybe if I were one of those that are in the media team, especially for the ruling party, my call would always be to just talk about education. Ladies and gentlemen, these other things will come later. Right now, we have one focus. Paul would say, for this one thing, and I think that is where they have scored. But to bring these other issues, I think that, they are not sitting very well. The numbers, even if we go to statistics and ask these people, unpack these numbers for us, they will say, yes, and then we'll tell them, okay, is there medicine in the hospital? No. Is that road done? There is no football ground, there is no recreation. So these are real issues that we want to talk about that are obtaining. There is no water, and so will these numbers feel good? Zambia benefits very little actually from mining. Fred Membe one time in his post newspaper did some screaming headline. He actually said what Zambians get from mining is less than what we get from our brothers and sisters in diaspora. So the people our brothers put together who are in Australia, America, what we get from them by donations, by what they send back home, is more than what we get from copper. You know, those numbers were alarming. So when we say we are doing well in terms of mining, you ask, where is the money? Where is the money going? You know, most of the people who are employed even at the mines, many of them are foreigners. You know, they are at that level, they can fly, you know, but look at the guy who goes in the mine and you tell him, give me your pay slip. These are the conversations that we want to have.
Yeah, and you know, when you put figures so high up there, it's a way of hiding the truth, because very few people would just say, oh, that's flamboyant, but they won't understand, and if they don't understand, they leave it. So we must interpret those numbers to say, because we're saying this, whatever we're going to make will build how many schools, how many hospitals, how many this and that. Because I think there's a disconnect, even in terms of presentation of, of policies, or maybe when a president goes to speak to the people. I remember this very well in Luansha. He was talking about the mines, and he was talking about these figures that were going to come from the production of the copper. But the thing is, people in Luansha don't know what 1 billion is, $1 billion is. It's something not even imaginable to them.
Yeah.
Maybe they know 30,000 kwacha. So instead of going to mention those big bills and figures, why don't you interpret it to say, oh, we're going to have more schools for you here, we're going to have more hospitals. And like you said, maybe that way they'll connect and understand what you're trying to say. Because they will disqualify you based on that, but you have something to offer them.
That's right, that's right.
Okay, so we move on to the daily revelation, and we have a headline that says we may go back to PF Calaba's RM. So now it also goes on to say that will be the case if not careful, just as we should not go back to UPND. They are both corrupt.
You know, Kathy, it is always good when you live in a glass house, you don't throw stones. The man we're talking about, Kalaba, was a minister and a cabinet minister in the PF for a very long time. Very, very long time. He stood on the PF ticket. We never knew him before the PF ticket, you know, and where he comes from. And I have gone to the palace where the father is. Even the road is inaccessible. For a man who was minister, you know, we struggled to go to that place when we were doing a project there. So when people now want to come and scream and undermine the PF that did so well, I mean, there were pockets of things that we don't like about the PF, but you must understand there was a PF under Sata, there was a PF under Longo. You could say sections of what the PF did, you know. But if you want to win a woman, for instance, Kathy, you know, a brother, I don't begin to say that boy is not, you know, I must have my own vibe. Girl, you are hot, look at your eyes, look at your cheeks, come on, you bouncing, you are the one, you know. And the girl was like, yeah, but I don't begin to say, oh, that guy, you know, come on.
Exactly. You read my mind. I think last night I thought, first of all, they'll start mentioning names of other leaders and mentioning what they have done, what they haven't done. Why don't you take this? You have 1 hour. Why don't you take the space to talk about what you're going to do? Convince your people to vote for you and tell them exactly what you're going to do. It helps. I mean, that simple example you've given is everything.
I'll also give another example, maybe just to solidify this in the Bible. If you read Genesis chapter 1, it is like a headline. Okay, because that's where the Bible starts. God does not mention the devil. Chapter 2, God doesn't mention the devil.
Today, you're hitting the nails on the head.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere. In fact, even then, it's not God who mentioned the devil. It is when God said, hey, you man, where are you? He says, the devil, you know, and all that stuff. God did not mention. You know, so sometimes we give credence to what should not exist.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think that when you hear a politician mention names, just know he's average, forget about him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so last but not the least, Money Daily has a headline that says NAPSA denies government directed $300 million road investment. So the National Pension Scheme Authority has dismissed claims that it was directed by government to finance the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway project, insisting that its $300 million investment was independently assessed and approved in line with its investment policies.
Yeah, Rhoda, we must understand that institutions like NAPSA and many others, workers' compensation, they are entrusted with funds, to manage on behalf of the people, and these funds must be available when people need them or demand them. What I do know is by policy and corporate governance, they normally do due diligence because you are keeping money on behalf of another. I understand that they have a lot to do with government and the boards appointed by government, but they have serious frameworks and mandates. And we don't expect the mandate of a particular government and these institutions to work against government because they are supposed to implement. These are stakeholders, they're supposed to implement the policies of government. And in the PPP, we've been taught that there must be these partnerships, governments, privates, the quasi-governments. So when NAPSA realizes that we have got this excess money to use, and how do we grow the fund? And they say, look, we are going to grow the fund by investing in this road, and we are going to gain from the toll gates. Is it not a wise decision, really? Even if to some extent government has a hand and they tell them this, we feel we suggest that you do this. If Kathy, someone comes to you and say, look, you've been given to keep 20,000 kwacha the next 20 years. I'll come for it. And you have the muscle to multiply the money. And we don't understand that these institutions are there to offer a service, but they also need to grow the fund. And working with government, looking at the policies of government, there are key areas where they should invest. Not long ago, workers' compensation was in Kasama, Kathy Road, where they've built a huge hotel, almost 60 rooms in Kasama. That is unprecedented. They're going to make a lot of revenue, but of course improve the customer experience. They have also built a mall, which is creme de la creme in Kasama. They are also building another infrastructure in Northwestern Province. They are building one hotel also in Shensali. So you look at this, you're going to find that they are going to have disposable income, which they are going to give to people who are injured during work times. So it means that they are improving also the service delivery to the people. So to just say that they were influenced by government, I think that they have experts. These are institutions that have serious experts. Even if you go to NAPSA, government did say you can begin to get those to mamanes. You not just arrive and say NAPSA have come. They will tell you, have you been contributing? How much? When? So I think that sometimes we have a responsible journalism that just wants to hit into government, and I think I'm not one of those. Yeah.
Right, so we do move on with our Sunrise Breakfast show. Keep it locked right here. Right about now, let's have a look at our Today in History. We'll be back on the other side.
Long ago, many children in Zambia did not go to school because their parents could not afford it. Today, 2.5 million children are back in the classroom, sitting on desks and being fed nutritious meals under the school feeding program. Markets are now peaceful with no kind of violence. Clinics stand where there were none. There's still much work ahead, jobs to create, futures to secure. And that's why Bali keeps working day after day. Because just as we delivered free education, we will keep delivering. For every child still waiting and every family still rising. Until progress is something every Zambian feels. We've started the change. Now let's finish the job. On the 13th of August 2026, vote for Hakainde Hichilema as President of the Republic of Zambia. And let us continue to move Zambia forward together.
The planet speaks, we listen, and we look for solutions, and such solutions are the climate run that we have at this particular moment. And of course, we will be discussing on the Sunrise Breakfast Show. I have in the studio the Business Development Manager, Brian Sapi from National Sports Council of Zambia. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeremiah.
Welcome.
Happy to be back again.
Did you sleep today?
Well, I slept after the Mexico game. I tried to wake up for the...
And you failed?
For the Korea game, but anyway, we'll catch up with it.
All right, so, and I'm pretty sure that this is a talk for everybody, and all over, they were just talking about not supporting South Africa for special reasons. And I know that Africa doesn't want to, because they don't want to associate with Africa, so Africa doesn't want to support them. But anyway, it's just a story for another day. Let's dive into our discussion, because we know that climate change really did bad. As we are speaking already, scientists have already started talking about the El Nino that will be coming through. So we might have a drought again, and you remember that the drought really killed us bad in Zambia. So National Sports Council just found a way in terms of talking about the crime and the climate and how we can navigate all these problems that we've been facing. So let's talk about the 2026 climate run. When is it going to be?
Thank you once more, Jeremiah, and good morning to the viewers. So this is the second edition of the climate run. It will be taking place on 27 June, which is just a few days away, at our home at Nasdaq Sports Complex. We held the first edition at the same venue as well. So like you have put it, climate change is real. And as Sports Council, under our Sport for Climate Action program, this is one of the initiatives that we came up with to find a way of mobilizing people through sport, at the same time sensitizing them about climate change and its effects on our planet and our environment.
So, for the sake of our viewers, maybe just a little bit, just briefly about what happened last year in the first edition, some of the wins that has prompted another edition.
Yes, well, it's an annual event, and when you look at the El Nino, like you've put it, I think for the entire Southern Africa, we've been badly affected. Different weather patterns, rainfall patterns, temperatures. At the end of the day, it affects our soil. Agriculture is affected. The energy sector is affected in a way. But even as sport, athletes, the environment should be conducive. When you talk about pollution, when you talk about deforestation, you can't be playing soccer with people burning trees and smoke everywhere in the pitch. You can't be running the track. You can't be playing on the court. So we're trying to promote a clean and green environment all around.
Just to demonstrate how important this is, there was an endorsement.
Yes, of course, and we are grateful for that. Ministry of Green Economy and Environment, who are our partner, they were partners with us also in the first edition. First of all, they are the custodians. You know, as far as government is concerned, when it comes to the environment and anything to do with climate action. So we had to seek endorsement from them, which we were granted, and they actually recognized the Zambia Climate Run as a nationally recognized event. This will open more doors to the sports sector, but also to the companies and other institutions that deal with the environment. So with that, it has really put a stamp on sending out the message about what we really want to put out there.
This year's theme is climate action. Why
Yes.
the theme?
Yes, climate action is the theme for this year. We wanted to follow the global theme, of which June is the month of the World Environment Day, which falls on 5th June. So we could have created any theme, but I think it's good if we align ourselves with the rest of the world. Ministry of Green Economy itself is running many events this month of June, which we will support as well. But on the sports side, we picked this June, because it should be a run, but for a cause. There are many marathons happening around the country, as you are aware. We are not as big as many marathons, but for us, it's the message that we want to send out there. People are running for a cause to know how to dispose of plastic waste, to keep our surroundings clean, because without that, we see all these diseases, cholera and everything. Sometimes it's just sanity. So we need to push that and ensure that as many people are mobilized and get the message out there.
Well, you might say you're not that big, but you are big because of the message. The message is big. If the message is big,
yes,
then
yes.
it should be big.
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
speaks to everyone in this country.
Yes.
Let's talk about because it's a marathon. It's a race. So obviously there should be some of the activities that will be happening and the races. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, of course. It's last year's edition. We had 3 race categories: the 2.5, the 5, and the 10. But we've moved it up a bit to 15 kilometers, which has been added due to demand from participants. They feel like 10K is not good enough of a workout anymore. So we said, okay, let's push it up to 15. I think in the following editions, we might go to half marathon, but we want to take it easy, one step at a time. Other than that, of course, we'll have tree planting exercises going on and distribution of some trees to participants, because we feel more trees should be planted at the end of the day, and we'll give participants a tree, a fruit tree, or anything that will suit them, so that they can go plant in their backyards and their farms and add to the curb.
And this is a very good exercise, especially when you look at Lusaka. What we really believe in is when you get a plot, you have to remove every tree,
which is wrong.
And just have to put anything else that has nothing to do with the trees, which is a very good thing. So let's talk about now. Obviously, the planting of trees and what is really going to happen, and the guest of honor that we're expecting to have.
Yes, of course. Yes. The guest of honor will be our PS in the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Arts, Mr. Kangwa Chileshe, of course, alongside his counterpart from the Ministry of Green Economy and Energy, Dr. Dauti. So with them, they will help, of course, to officially flag off the event, accompanied by other sponsors that have come on board, who we are also grateful for. But the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Arts is our biggest support as Sports Council. So without them, we may limp a bit. So we are happy that he has agreed to grace our event.
Right.
Yes.
So let's talk about now. Obviously, it's very, very important that we talk about the sponsors who are going to enable this cause to just go through.
Yes. Number one, the key thing when it comes to any sport activity is keeping people hydrated. And with that, we have Varun Beverages that came on board with AquaClear brand. And they've got also other products that will be part of the event. They've actually gone further to support the budget slightly. And we have Payments Association of Zambia as well, who have come on board as well to support us, and a few others that are still coming in with confirmations. But those are the big ones. Of course, you can see I have with me the rest pack, of which we have the AquaClear there. So with the rest pack, we have this beautiful cap. It's a sun visor cap. That will be part of the waist tag, and of course the T-shirt as well. So we're pushing, if you see the theme, everything is about being, keeping the environment green and supporting the cause. Of course, you can see Varun's branding on there. And the medal, of course, which will come at the finish line, which people will get at the event.
All right.
So those are part of our partners, and you were part of the signing ceremony.
Yes.
That we held. Was it last week?
Last week.
Yes.
At the Ministry of Sport.
Yes. So through my department, we thought it was wise to have a long-term deal with Varun Beverages. So they went ahead and confirmed to sponsor us for the next 3 editions. So they'll do the 2026 edition, the 2027, and the 2028. They'll support it as the official hydration sponsor, and that is something that will sustain the event going forward.
All right,
very grateful for that.
So talking about the sponsorship or the sponsorship deal that was signed,
yes,
the partnership that was signed, really, it's dependent on the number of athletes that we have. So let's talk about the athletes that we have today, or this second edition, and maybe the money that is close to this.
Well, the first edition, if you allow me, we had 1,000 participants. For this edition, we want to target 3,000. We saw that due to the demand when we had closed the registration last year, other people still wanted to participate. If we hit the 3,000 mark, that would be great. If not, what matters is the numbers. But participation fee is 450 kwacha, and the registration is on our website, National Sports Council of Zambia, -NSCZ, Facebook, and the link is there to register, put in your information, and it prompts you to the payment of either mobile money, bank transfer, or swiping a card, and your rest pack will be aligned in order with your registration.
So what is your word to the people out there, especially the sponsors? Let's speak to the sponsors and the importance or the reasons why they should be part and parcel of this noble cause.
Yeah, number one, of course, publicity. It is important for. You can imagine how many people will be
wearing this.
The beautiful.
And this one thing that you should understand is we will be seeing a lot of this. A lot of people will be wearing even after 27th.
Yes.
So they will continue branding and showing these brands, and the publicity is as huge.
Yes. So we are grateful once more to our partners, but we also want to make a call to other corporate partners. The door is still open. And I think for the cause itself, where we're talking about climate action, Achieve as National Sports Council, this is our first, big major event, in the history of Sports Council, where we mobilize people, for a cause. And there are a few other flagship programs, of course, under Sports Council, which we're calling on partners to be with us. Through the vision of our CEO, Mr. Sompam Sunsa, we had hosted earlier this year the first ever national conference for women in sport here in Zambia. Other countries in the region are doing it. If you look at South Africa, Botswana, that was the first one. The Zambia Climate Run is the first ever, program that we have. The Rural Sports Development Program as well, where we do go out in the communities and empower the youth and athletes through sport. So we are quite busy, and we call the corporate world to join us on this journey, where we're promoting health and fitness, and for their benefit, of course, through sport is quite huge.
As we go, your concluding remarks? My
concluding remarks is that actually, me and you are doing the 15-kilometer, Jeremiah. So my concluding remarks will be to let people know that registration is still open, and please be out there, invite a friend, tell a neighbor to join us. It's also open to the kids. It's open to the persons living with disabilities, senior citizens, and the entire demographic. And we are actually encouraging people, if you may not join us at NASDAQ, you can run virtually, wherever you are, timing yourself, and you submit through the system. That way we can also appreciate that you participated. So with that, I think We are grateful also to Prime for being here at short notice, according us the space, and we hope to see you guys at the start line.
All right, so I'm not going to promise if I'm going to run, but I think you have to come through and see me if I'll be running. But how am I going to run with a camera?
All right, have someone hold it for you.
Yeah. All right. So it is, running with a purpose, and it's important that you register today, and you can imagine that you will be running and doing two things at the same time, making yourself fit, and probably just making sure that we combat whatever is coming in terms of climate change. So we definitely have to be there, support this noble cause. And of course, the corporate world, this is your time for you to make a name and make history, as National Sports Council is making history by making sure that the environment is safeguarded for our children and for everybody else. And we have to do exactly what we're supposed to do, because I know that especially when it comes to disposing of plastics, I think it is a very big problem. So there will be lessons. We will be learning how to plant trees. In most cases, some of you don't even have a single tree, and you've never planted a tree in your lifetime. So this is your opportunity. This is your chance to come through and do this. And don't you worry about water. You will be hydrated. You will be drinking beautiful things that will come through. And of course, there will be breakfast. He just forgot to mention that people will be drinking even milk.
Yes,
you've never drank milk before in your lifetime in the morning. This is the habit that we have to put up. Thank you very much for Brian for coming through. And we will continue pushing this, because it's a beautiful thing that you're doing as National Sports Council through the CEO, Sombo Msusa. You are doing a very good job at Nasdaq Sports Complex. And you remember that if you support them financially, you are supporting the athletes, a lot of athletes that depend on National Sports Council, because every federation is affiliated to National Sports Council, and they are mandated to make money for the federations to do exactly what they're supposed to do. So job creation is one of those things that they're doing. So thank you very much. We continue with Sunrise Breakfast. We get back to Kathy, Kizito, and Rhoda as they wake you up again. Thank you very much.
Welcome to New World of Entertainment in Zambia. Cartoons, music, news, movies, drama, series, documentaries, food, travel, the best from Hollywood and Bollywood, international football, including CAF competitions, La Liga, Serie A, German Bundesliga. Grab your Azam TV decoder at 350 Zambian kwacha and full kit at 589 Zambian kwacha. Affordable monthly packages, 100 Zambian kwacha, 200 Zambian kwacha, and 300 Zambian kwacha. For more details, contact us on 971-246-222, 763-664-455. WhatsApp 77-500-0013. Azam TV, entertainment for everybody.
All right, that was one Jeremiah, of course, telling us to join the world of sport, to just go and keep fit, and of course, conserve the environment. And we continue on Sunrise Breakfast Show to just unpack certain things. Zambia goes to the poll in 2 months or so, on 13th August, to choose a president of their choice, a mandate that Zambians gladly want to take. And of course, we've seen a lot of conversations in the media, including political parties coming together. Recently, on 10th June, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema received 5 political parties, to form an alliance with the UPND, and such conversations continue to happen. Joined is PF Mausampa, the United Prosperous Peaceful Nation, I beg your pardon, led by Charles Chanda, and the United Nations Independence Party, led by Henry Mioba, and the United Nations Congress Party, led by Peter Chanda, and the United Progressive Party, led by Xavier Chishimba. All these political parties have come together to team up with the UPND, an alliance that is scheduled to foster, whether it is national unity or indeed it is just desperations. We want to, unpack these things and know what the future holds as far as these political parties are concerned. And to help us unpack these kind of conversations is the National Congress Party Vice President, Mr. Daniel Nyati, here to help us unpack. Mr. Nyati, welcome to Prime TV.
Good morning, Kizito. Good morning, Zambia.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Nyati reminds me, Nyati in South Africa, there was a soap I used to watch. It was Derek Nyati. He was a very famous guy.
That's it. It's in Digo.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You've been there, sir. Oh, yeah. Is he your relative?
No ties at all.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Mr. Nyati, just tell us what informed this decision, the coming together of these political parties to join the ruling party. Is it desperation? Is it knowing that maybe it's greener on the UPND? Of course, we've seen a lot of activities happening on the UPND, including infighting. Do you think this is timely?
Well, speaking for myself and speaking for ourselves as New Congress Party, we are actually in court. The party itself is moribund in that the decision or the pronouncement that was made to join the the UPND alliance, that decision was not made by the New Congress Party National Executive Committee. It was made in his own capacity, in his own individual capacity, Peter Chanda. Because like I said, the party is moribund. We are in court right now, and it is Peter Chanda who took the National Executive Committee of the party to court. And so there is no binding decision that can be made by the National Executive Committee. It was him in his own personal capacity. And I must ensure that, look, here we're not talking about the decision whether it being bad or good. We're talking about the legitimacy of the decision. It was made by one man in his own way, in his bid to make sure, because this is Peter Chanda, the man that we had expelled from the party for gross misconduct.
Okay.
So in his bid to try to salvage himself, to try to lure the powers that be to help him to get the party from the legitimate office bearers, he decided to pronounce his support for the ruling party, so that in one way or the other, he can at least get some leniency from them. But look, these are matters which are in court. I believe that the president is above board and that he would want to interfere in the operations of the court. He has taken the party to court, and so we are waiting for the court to pronounce itself, because we have argued we have advanced our arguments. And so it's unfortunate that even before the court could pass its ruling, the court fell ill. So we are waiting, we are hoping and praying that for that speedy recovery of the court, so that we can have justice at the end of the day. But suffice to mention is that the parties, or rather the alliances, or the ruling party in particular, ought to learn from their colleagues who are in government. Remember that even the PF was in alliance with one of them, because part of the reasons they were in alliance with individuals who purported to be political parties, when in fact they were not political parties. So we are seeing a repeat of the same. Like I said, as a party, we are moribund. Right now, we cannot move because the court itself there's an injunction against the National Executive Committee, and it is the National Executive Committee of the party that makes decisions. The president pronounces what the National Executive Committee has made.
It's a mouthpiece.
Yes, it's basically a mouthpiece. But in this particular case, the National Executive Committee has not met to make such a decision. As such, that is a one-man decision. Of course, he has every right to associate with whoever he wants to associate with. That is his democratic right, at personal level. But to say that is the political party, the party has not made such a decision. Okay. If that decision is right or wrong, that is up to the party's National Executive Committee to deliberate and make that decision.
Mr. Nyati, the president himself is the one who has received Mr. Chanda on behalf of the party. And in this regard, it is at a very high level where he's already been received by the president. Does this change anything on the ground?
Well, like I said, the president is at liberty to associate with anyone.
No, what I mean is the head of state.
Yes.
President Hakainde Hichilema.
Yes.
Has actually received your party, you know.
He has received Peter Chanda.
Yeah, not your party.
The party has not, as National Executive Committee, the party has not sat to look at that. That is why I was very glad when I heard the president say that you presidents, you must move with your members. No president moves alone. Now, we are waiting to see that those political leaders, they go with their members. I was glad I saw Mao Sampa with his only a few members here and there. But the others, I did not see their members because their members are supposed to be the members of the National Executive Committee, of which in this case, I think this is in public domain. The New Congress Party is in court. And that court matter is still active. As it is.
Would you want to then to go back to court and say, can we reconsider this so that perhaps you can move with your president?
Well, we did not. We were not the plaintiffs in that matter. We didn't go to court ourselves. He took us to court. So I think if there is anything to be discussed in that time, it is him to go to court and say, let me withdraw the matter. I think even when if you remember very, very well, this is the man who went to Israel and paid 100,000 kwacha in a bid to challenge the same president. And after he did so, he came to us to say that we should give him an adoption certificate. And we told him we've got an active matter in court. We have no mandate unless you withdraw the matter. But he refused to go and withdraw the matter because all he wanted was to impose his own conditions. So now it becomes a problem because we are moribund, like I said. We cannot make any binding decisions. We have an injunction on us. So we cannot make any binding decisions.
But Mr. Nyati, remember, we say, rather you tell us, you politicians, that there are no permanent enemies in politics. It's a question of interest. And he's seen that it is better to move that way. Why don't you go to him and say, hey, Mr. President, perhaps in this case, let's sit down, dialogue, and move together?
He is the one who took us to court. It is him to come to us. Gentlemen, I feel like this. Let us move like this. Like I said, when he paid the 100,000 kwacha, he came to us. And we told him we cannot move until that matter in court is what? Is disposed of. Because there is an injunction in his favor against us. So until that is lifted, we will be committing contempt of court. So we don't want to be, we are law-abiding citizens. We don't want to be found on the other side of the law. So it is up to him to go to court and to come to the table. Let us discuss this matter.
Okay, you are on record before this to have criticized the endorsement of your party endorsing President Hakainde Hichilema. Do you still hold the same position, or is that your feeling?
Come again, I didn't get you.
I'm talking about the endorsement of HH.
Yes.
Yeah. Before this development, I think that some party members did indicate an endorsement of HH, you know, for his candidature, to say, look, I think we are behind him. Is that the position of the party lately?
As a party, like I said, the supreme body that makes the decision is the National Executive Committee.
Yes.
And this National Executive Committee has not formally sat to make such a decision, to make a binding decisions. So I can only speak the decisions of the National Executive Committee, which has not taken place so far. So it's not up to me to say whether that decision is correct or wrong, but the National Executive Committee has to speak through a formal meeting.
So in this case, you are saying as a political party, you are not going to participate in the forthcoming elections because the matters are in court, you are frozen, and as a party...
We've been frozen by the courts. That is why we were happy that the court had even said that they would pass ruling at least by the end of April. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, the court fell ill. So we've been frozen. So whatever pronouncements that one is making, whatever pronouncements that Peter Chanda is making, those are in his own personal capacity. As the National Executive Committee, we have not sat down. We have not discussed that.
So meaning, Mr. Nyati, that you haven't had even anyone who has filed nominations?
No one has filed the nomination under the New Congress Party. That's why these elections, 2026 elections, they've eluded us because of these same legal issues.
Is this not the death of your political party?
No. A New Congress Party was formed in 2003-2004. It has been in existence. It has never died. It has never participated at presidential level. The only time that New Congress Party began to participate in elections was in 2021 when we fielded in, we had a councillor candidate. We have been participating in elections only from 2021 onwards. The fact that we have not fielded a candidate 2026 does not mean that the party is dead. We are very much, we want to see that the party lives up to the expectations of the Zambian people, and that is to provide alternative leadership. Unfortunately, we will not do that at the expense, we will not do that, we will not break the law just because we want to.
Acknowledging the government that is sitting today, do you think that UPND-led government has called and that has lived to its mandate? What's your take on that?
Like I said, the National Executive Committee has not sat. This is my. If you ask me as my personal opinion.
Yes,
my personal opinion, not as a party. My personal opinion, of course, they've done whatever they can to make sure that they deliver on their promises.
But Mr. Nyati, wait a minute. I want to quote you as a man who is coming from a political party.
Okay.
In your conversation as a party, and when you are doing alternative checks and balances, haven't you sat as a party the last four years to see what this government is doing? And at some point, is there anything that you think this government has scored as a political party?
Well, from the time that was before the legal issues began, of course, we've been participating in most of these things. And I'll tell you that, yes, the UPND, yes.
What are the areas that they have scored?
Oh, well, they promised that they would enhance free education, which they've enhanced. We are happy. Though there are teething problems, such as the teacher-pupil ratio.
Okay.
And I'm glad that to respond to that, at least they've tried to employ more teachers. And now we need to look at how to sustain these teachers. It is work in progress. In my view, yes, they've set the tone, but it is work in progress. And why am I saying it's work in progress? They have not fulfilled 100%. They are lagging behind in some areas.
Okay, pre-adventure, this matter is out of court. I mean, this is just intelligence, you tipping us as the members of the public and interested people that follow you, that follow your party. What does the future hold for the party? Just pre-adventure, this embargo is removed. Are you going to look at supporting a particular political party, or this particular year, there are sessions that you might just watch from the terraces?
No. Look, we are political players, and being political players, meaning that we ought to be politically active.
Yes.
The fact that the period for nomination is passed, the period for us to field the candidate is passed. We have no option once the court lifts that they discharge the injunction. We'll have to sit as the National Executive Committee, identify a candidate or rather a political party or even an alliance that we share common things and probably support them. Indeed, when it comes to that, we need to sit down and identify a political party or political alliance and be able to offer our support for that particular party.
Okay. As a party, what are some of the things that you've seen this government has done that you say, look, we disagree here. I think we feel that this must be checked. What are some of the gray areas that you see in their governance and in their leadership, the gaps?
Well, there is a need for us to make sure that, one, the law regarding particularly the political parties itself is enacted. I'm glad that even the Constitution could pass that ruling, that the political parties bill it must be enacted at least within 12 years. So in short, what I'm trying is in the area of legislation, I think there is need for us, we can do better. We are looking forward to ensure, to make sure that all these political associations we are seeing now, the alliances, people coming together, they are formalized, not the way it is right now. Even these alliances we see people coming together, they're basically a gentleman's arrangement. There is no law to support the association of political parties coming together as political alliances. There is no law in this country that supports alliances. So we expect that we need to formalize. Once you formalize, it means political players will be able to respect one another. Because as it is, you see the survival of seemingly smaller political parties in an alliance, they are at the mess of the bigger political parties. Because even today, the UPND can choose to kick out whoever they feel like. UPND will still survive. Those other political parties will die. So this is what I'm saying, that the best is for us.
So are you saying, Mr. President, that perhaps small political parties are parasites? They just want to wait a minute.
Yes.
They just want to eat from bigger political parties because they realize, look, we are insignificant. So let us make a name by getting married, so that we can end some of our problems. Could that be the case for you?
No. Like I said, for us as a party, we have not gone into the alliance yet. As a party, we have not gone into the alliance yet, as far as I'm concerned, because the party has been frozen in support. That decision was made by one Peter Chanda. That's why I'm saying that even in my preamble, I said that it was one of the reasons why the Patriotic Front lost power, because most of the people that went in an alliance with them were basically individuals in the name of the party. So it's about how many people do you have. You need to add value to that alliance. But if you are going there alone, what value are you adding? It means you are only doing it for your belly. And not really for the greater good of the people. You are only doing it for your belly. And that is the situation we are seeing with the political platform today. Most leaders are doing it for their own benefit. And not necessarily for the benefit, not even to grow their own political party. For as long as they remain in the limelight, that they are in an alliance with this particular alliance, for them it is okay. But it's about growing. These political parties must be deemed as institutions, as opposed to a one man, because one man has said, because he's purportedly a leader, then the party has made that decision. No. It must be institutionalized. The National Executive Committee must make that decision, and the president, so that when the president moves, everyone moves with him. Indeed.
But we've seen in the recent past, even PF, it is like political parties that are started in Zambia are tied to individuals. They are tied to individuals. If Mwanawasa is not there, the MMD must die. If Sata is not there, PF must die. And progressively. And already we are seeing that in your party again, we see a situation where one man can hold the party at ransom because he's president. Why is this the case?
That is why, for us as New Congress Party, we have demonstrated otherwise. Even when this one man at the top, or just at the helm of the party, decides to misbehave, we took action. And we have demonstrated that to the world. And we expect that other political parties, you see, the problem is that when we take action, people begin to think, Badiamo, they've been paid to do ABCD. As a New Congress Party, we have demonstrated that we are able to exist as an institution. Yes, most of the political parties, they survive around the goodwill of the president. But it ought not to be so. Remember that it is an institution which must move as such.
Mr. Nyati, quoting, as we get to conclude, quoting the words of our famous politicians from Southern Province, if I remember, he said the politics of benefits.
Yes, the late Daniel Munkombwe, my namesake.
Yeah, yes, indeed. He did say that people are in politics. We are here to eat. Mr. Nyati, here where you are and your party, are you not here to eat? Are you not just attacking people because you also want to just eat what they are eating?
No. Politics, number one, politics is a noble cause where you ought to offer service to the country. You need, patriotism comes first. Of course, when you are
patriotism to what? To the stomach?
Patriotism to the country.
Okay, all right.
You are offering yourself for public service. Unfortunately, what we have seen is that the personal benefits are overriding national interest.
Wow.
Which is not right. In our view, when you come offer yourself for leadership, you are offering yourself for leadership to benefit the country. Of course, as you offer those services, You are offering a service to the country, and the country will take care of you. As simple as that. But don't steal from the country. Let the country take care of you for the services you are providing.
Your last
That's
words,
it.
Your last words, Mr. Nyati, and I hope that tomorrow we don't see UPND by you because you speak very well. Maybe UPND may come tomorrow and say, Mr. Nyati, join us. Should that be the case? Your last words, Mr. Nyati.
Well, everyone enjoys the freedom of association, like I said. But to say that as a party, we are waiting for the court to pronounce itself, and then we can move together as one. Because as it is, we are moribund, we are frozen. We are not moving as a party. Wow. So we wait for that position for the 13th August general elections, and let us make a wise choice. Everyone has the right to vote, and that vote, it is your secret. I thank you.
Well, that was Mr. Nyati telling us so passionately about his party, and you can feel the energy, you can feel the sense of purpose and direction, and we hope that come tomorrow, Mr. Nyati will not cross floors, but if he does, he says it's a service to the country. On a lighter note, that was a very good discussion, and we hope that the country, as we go to the polls, will be peaceful. And after the break, we have brought there, to bring the Kimanis. I mean, we've had so many followers, asking, reaching almost 6,000 numbers, and so we want to bring them back so that you can ask them those questions, so that you can give them feedback. For now, we go on a break, and thank you, sir, for coming.
The pleasure is mine.
All right. Sure. We have a break.
Children are back in the classroom, sitting on desks and being fed nutritious meals under the school feeding program. Markets are now peaceful with no kind of violence. Clinics stand where there were none. There's still much work ahead, jobs to create, futures to secure. And that's why Bali keeps working day after day. Because just as we delivered free education, we will keep delivering. For every child still waiting and every family still rising. Until progress is something every Zambian feels. We've started the change. Now let's finish the job. On the 13th of August, continue to move Zambia forward together.
Welcome to New World of Entertainment in Zambia. Cartoons, music, news, movies, drama, series, documentaries, food, travel, the best from Hollywood and Bollywood, international football, including CAF competitions, La Liga, Serie A, German Bundesliga, Saudi League, Carabao Cup, Asian Championship, Barclays Women's League, local leagues, and much more. Grab your Azam TV decoder at 350 Zambian kwacha and full kit at 589 Zambian kwacha. Affordable monthly packages: 100 Zambian kwacha, 200 Zambian kwacha, and 300 Zambian kwacha. For more details, contact us on 971-246-222. 763-664-455. WhatsApp 77-500-0013. Azam TV, entertainment for everybody.
Why keep your business in the dark? Shine a spotlight on your brand with Prime TV2.
Has been assaulted by the ant.
Zambia's first ever 24-hour news channel and a trusted platform that helps business grow.
Botswana, of course, behind me is the Kazongola Bridge. And
we broadcast on TopStar, channel 110, DTH platform, and reach an expanding digital audience through our Facebook page, PTV2 Zambia.
Projects that have been dotted across the country.
Advertise with us today. Contact our marketing team on 0978 71 9477. Prime TV2, the home of breaking news.
Zambia heads to the 2026 general election, a defining moment for the nation's democracy. Who will win the presidential poll and what choice will shape Zambia's future? Follow the latest campaign updates, election stories, and breaking development. Tune in to PTV2 Zambia, the home of breaking news 24/7.
Welcome back. Very interesting interview by Kizito and Ms. Tanyati. They're obviously holding leaders accountable, for some of these things that they have been saying and making them feel a little bit uncomfortable on this platform, eh? But obviously that is one of your comments and your contributions. Now, following overwhelming viewer interest after our previous conversation with former Ugandan sorcerer, Erika Mukisa Kimani, and of course her husband, evangelist Tim Simon Kimani, we received a wave of questions and reflections that we could not exhaust, obviously, on air. And we couldn't answer on our own, so we just decided that, they come back on this platform, just to share a little bit more and respond to some of those comments that the Zambian people and the rest of the continent have been writing in the comment section. And this is due to popular demand, and we have invited them back in the studio before they depart for Uganda. Mr. and Mrs. Kimani, you're welcome once again. It's great to have you. We're back at it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so I believe that you had the first crusade yesterday. Maybe just tell us your experience. How's that been so far?
Oh, I think it was awesome. And people came out and people gave their lives to Jesus. That was the most powerful thing. A lot of youth came forward, and that's what we were really praying about. We were hoping that the youth would come forward and make a decision that can, change the rest of their lives. So that was awesome, and we had a great turnout. I think we're going to have a great turnout today too.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, obviously, like I did earlier on mention, we have had, quite a number of responses from the viewers. It's quite overwhelming. We have received that, obviously, on different platforms as well. So we cannot manage to answer each and every individual who's asking a question out there, but we decided to bring you back so that obviously you can respond, to some of those questions, which is a good thing because a lot of people did watch that interview, meaning that there's an impact that was made out there. So now I'll start with you, Erika. Briefly, take us through your personal background, just a brief background for the people that might have missed out on the first interview and the journey that you say led you into your former beliefs and experiences.
Okay. Yeah, to start with, it's an experience of 18 years. So within the minutes that I always get to share, I just try to summarize the whole story. That's why you see the many questions come up, but I'm ready to answer some of the questions. So I come from a Christian family, but my dad was coming from a family of high-level sorcerers. So my grandmother was a third generation, of sorcerers in the family, and she had gone so deep that she was controlling the Eastern. Having given his life to Christ, he was not willing to initiate us or to allow her initiate us into sorcery. He actually hated the witchcraft that was in the family. But when it came to grandmother, she always posed as a herbalist. But she was combining sorcery with herbs. So she would help solve one problem and create another one, because she always wanted people to keep going back, because that was her way of surviving. So now visiting her during holidays opened up my life to sorcery, because she used that as an opportunity to initiate me into witchcraft. At 8, she took me deeper into sorcery by introducing me to what the Bible calls necromancy. Necromancy is when people interact with the dead. So she took me to the family graveyard and interacted with the dead while I was there, conjuring spirits, and I would hear voices coming from the grave. She was performing rituals, and then she introduced me. She said that she was introducing me to our ancestors, and if she died, I was going to continue working with our ancestors, including her. So she made me lie on her mother's grave, and that is the first time I astral projected. Now, astral projection is when you get out of your body and you journey spiritually, and then now you come back into your body. So that continued until when I was 11. So when I was 11 is when my aunt, who was also a big prominent person in the government, she was in the health sector. So my aunt was connected to celebrities. And you know, the enemy does not give gifts, but he sees the gift that is in someone and he steals that gift for his own benefit. So my auntie now connected me to these secular artists, and being a youth, I thought my auntie was more cool than my parents, because my parents were always taking us to church. They had so many don't do this, don't go here, don't do that. Now my auntie is introducing me to this lifestyle that every youth would want to have, like enjoy. She's taking me I felt like staying at my auntie's place was more or much better than staying with my parents. And later on, one of the artists that my auntie introduced me to now initiated me deeper. He took me to the source of the Nile. There is the White Nile, and then we went to an island because he has a music band that he named after his island. That island is where they get satanic powers from to control the industry. The music industry in our country has watchmen. Even if you're talented, if they have not accepted you to be part of them, you will not make it beyond a certain level. So that is how this musician took me, and they performed a ritual, and I saw a serpent come, and that serpent led us. We followed it with a boat. It led us to where they have a portal, and it opened that portal for us, and now we journeyed, and I found myself in front of Satan. So this serpent opened for us. It was a cage, so it opened for us the gates, and it was now my first time seeing demons like face to face. It was my first time now meeting Satan face to face. Everything that we were reading about in the Bible now was becoming reality. And I was so shocked that the Bible is not just a storybook. Everything that is in there is real. So now, the other thing that shocked me is the version that I had of Satan compared to the version that was now in reality. It was opposite. The version that everyone has about angels is beings with wings. Now, what I saw is the angels don't, yes, they do have the wings, but they don't expose their wings all the time. And they don't need wings to fly, because a spiritual being can fly even without wings. They can go through walls without, what is hindering us here is the flesh. This body is limited, but even a human being, when they get out of their bodies, they are able to fly and they don't have wings. So now I'm looking at Saturn at that point in reality, and I'm seeing the most beautiful angel that God had created. He's one of the most beautiful angels that God had created.
Yeah. So that was in reality and
yes,
not in the spirit, because I think a lot of people ask that question to say, did she really,
Okay, now the first time my soul was taken, it was now spiritual. But now after I was initiated, I started now meeting them physically because I was under their control. When someone cages your soul, it's like you're in remote control. Your soul it has your will, your emotions, and your mind. It is all packaged in your soul. That's why everything that you do physically, you first reflect on it internally. So whatever we see happening physically is something that has come from within you. And inside you is the real you. This body is like this sweater, it's a housing. So when a person dies, they say that is the body of so and so. But the real person is not in that body anymore. Just like you would hang your jacket and they say that is so and so's jacket. But when that jacket is on your body, they will point at you and say that is so and so. So now that is what happens with our body and the soul. But when I was initiated, then I was looking at Saturn now in reality, and I'm seeing that what the movie industry and the entertainment is showing us as Saturn compared to what the Bible is saying are two different things. The Bible describes Satan properly because now when I saw him the way the Bible describes him. I saw one of the most beautiful angels that God had created. His body before the fall was transparent, but when he fell, the body became pale. And then he was inside him. He would produce all kinds of light because all the precious stones were built in him. Silver, gold, diamond, all these precious stones were wired in him. And then when he would speak, he didn't need a microphone or he didn't need someone to level his voice. His voice was audible depending on how many people he was addressing. And then every time he opened up to sing, every time he started singing, he had musical instruments wired in him that would accompany his music, and he would sing many voices at the same time. So the Bible describes him as a musician. He was a musician. And the Bible also describes him as a light bearer. So he knows how to manipulate the light, the rays. He knows he would even walk on fire. These things that you see entertainers doing, entertainers perform rituals and they usher people into these rituals without their knowledge. That's why the Bible says that my people perish due to lack of knowledge. So when they are singing and they are not glorifying God, they are either glorifying God or worshiping the devil, because there are two kingdoms. It's either the kingdom of God or the kingdom of darkness. Yeah.
Now, it's quite a long story, I know, but last time what we did not talk about, obviously, is what was your turning point? How did it get to that point where you said?
And I failed on any mission because I didn't even have time to share some of the things that we were doing. But every time I would fail on a mission, I would be tortured and I would have a near-death experience. A situation where you go to hospital and you feel things moving in your body and you're taken for x-rays, scans. The doctors don't happen to find anything, but your health is deteriorating. That was the condition that I was in. And one time I knelt down when Satan showed me our ending. He told me that if you relax and don't deliver, we don't have time. So we are all going to end up in the lake of fire. I remember after looking at the flames, because when we talk about hell, what people think about fire. But there is a place where Satan is. That place is terrible. it is like hell because it is terrible, the treatment, the demons, the whole atmosphere. So now I knelt down and I was crying and I said, whoever will get me out of this situation, I don't care who that person is, whether it is a baby, whether it's an adult, whether it is an animal, I'll forever be serving that person. That person will be my God. I was so tired of the situation that I was in, but I didn't know how to come out of that situation. And
how old were you by then?
I was almost 18.
Okay.
And now that time, they were going to promote me because I had really served in the kingdom of darkness. I had initiated many souls, and now they were going to promote me. But it doesn't get better in the kingdom of darkness. When you get promoted, it gets worse because the more promotions, the more suffering, the more bondage. So they had announced all the witch doctors were gathering, and we were 7 people that we are going to be ordained and promoted in the kingdom of darkness. But
they had announced
on radio. Yes. All the witch doctors were gathering. But God being merciful, behaving in a way that she really...
so she didn't know that you were into